One of my favorite tools to use in the Procreate app is the clipping masks. So today we're going to use the clipping masks and some really cool vintage texture brushes to create sort of this paper cut collage effect that's something you can use for illustration pieces or lettering. Today we are going to be creating sort of like a rock stack, but you can really do whatever you'd like. My name is Julie and I am with the Pigeon Letters design team, and I can't wait to see what you create. All right, so go ahead and open up your Procreate app, and we are going to select whatever size canvas you feel like working with. Choose an 8x10. And then with your color palette, we're just gonna work with, just find two colors because we're gonna be using the hue, saturation, brightness tool. So I chose this sort of yellowy, mustard yellow and rust orange color, as you can see up here, from the Pigeon Letters Tea Room palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and just drag and drop this mustard yellow, and then in the next layer, I'm gonna choose that rusty orange. You just wanna do a lighter and a darker of similar hues. And then I got the vintage texture brush pack from the Pigeon Letters, and I'm using Ancestry. So you can go ahead and set that however big you'd like. I have it all the way up. And then I'm just going to brush it in here. And then you can see it it sort of looks like suede or leather. So I'm gonna go ahead and combine those two, and stick with me here. I'm going to duplicate it 5 times. So we are going to be creating some colors. So I'm just gonna work with one layer at a time. And let's see. So click on your little magic wand, and this is the hue and brightness. So we're gonna play with the hue, and we're just gonna make some fun colors. So I love this one. This is kind of a teal, and you can see them all lined up, and I kind of like that bluish with the orange. I'm gonna skip that one and leave it orange. And then let's see, oops. Go ahead and turn that one off. Make sure you're working on the right layer. I like to not name them so it can keep me on my toes. Okay, let's see. Maybe like a cool green. Ooh, like an olive green. Let's see, love that. So I feel like we need like a pink, maybe. Ooh, I love that. Ooh, sorry, you guys are watching my brain work in real time. I love that blue for the bottom. So let's get that pink. Okay. Oh my gosh, what have I done? All right, hue. Ooh, let's do about right there. All right, so those are our layers. This is gonna be our little rock stack, if you're choosing to do a rock stack like me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is add layers in between each one. So we are gonna be using a clipping mask to make the shapes, essentially. Oops. I'm a liar. It needs to be a layer on top of each one. This is, so see, we turn that one on, clipping mask. So it goes right below it. Go ahead and turn that on. It's gonna be a clipping mask for that layer. So when you use the clipping masks, it's gonna replace whatever color you've chosen. So whatever we draw on these empty layers is going to be filled in with this really cool texture that we created with our little antique brush. All right, so I'm going to do now is I'm using the same brush pack, the Vintage Texture, and I like this Vintage Monoline brush because it's a little wobbly. And then I'm just going to pick black for my sanity. Let's see, and I am, if you've ever seen the little rock stacks, they kind of just go up. So we're going to go, oops, starting down here at the bottom, and you'll see that I have black chosen, but it's going to come out with that really cool blue. Okay, so there's one. Make sure they're touching a little bit. And you'll see why we're doing these on different layers in a little while, because we want to create that kind of cool shadowy collage effect. If you can tell, I've been reading a lot of Eric Carle books to my kids, Brown Bear, sort of getting inspired by those little paper cut pieces. And one more up here. All right, and then as you can see, I made it crooked. So swipe to the right and you can select all of your little rock pieces and just move it around until you get centered. And then I'm waiting for Procreate to tell me that there it is. Little yellow line. Okay, there it is. Does not seem very centered. This is the kind of the best and the worst part about digital art, is that you could spend an eternity adjusting things. You know, when you make stuff on paper, sometimes it's just you're stuck with what you have, but that's okay. This is fun too. Okay. All right. Okay, so we've got your basic shape, whether you've chosen to do the rock stack or maybe you've done some lettering, but you see what we're working with here. Make any adjustments as necessary. And then what we're going to do is, I'm sure you love this, we are going to duplicate these black rock layers to create a little shadow. So you could compress this and create one shadow, but come on. Oh no, I've ran out of layers. That's okay. Here, what we'll do, if you run out of layers like me, you can go ahead and compress your clipping mask and your rock. Oops, not that one yet. I don't know why I work with these like 600 DPI canvases for absolutely no reason. And then I'm like, why did I run out of space again? All right, so right swipe on all of these black layers that are right underneath each of your colorful shapes, and then hit select. And you can see as it moves, it's you know, a little shadow. So we are just going to, you know, barely move it down and over. And then while they're still selected, we're going to go ahead and hit the blur. Oh no, we have to do it one at a time. That's okay. So we're going to turn down the opacity to about 30 on each one. It's a little tedious, but it's also kind of soothing to do stuff like this. Okay, now back to the blur. I can't pronounce it. I always say gouache. Might not be right. Gouache and blur. And we're going to turn it up to 5%. So just hold it down and pull it over. And we're going to do that for each one of the little shadows. And these steps, these seem so, you know, unimportant, but it's like these little things that kind of make it seem a little more collagey. You know what I mean? If it was just flat with no shadows, no texture, like, yeah, it's cool, but it's not really like the effect that we're going for here. So you can see all of those. What we're going to do now is change them where this little N is. We're going to change them to a linear blur, which when we add our texture to the background, you'll see it, it will burn with the same texture that's behind it, if that makes sense. So even right here, if you can see, it's going to take on the texture of the rock underneath it. So it looks more like a shadow and less like, you know, you've spray painted something on it. Okay, so I'm going to add a layer all the way at the bottom, and this is going to be our background. You can leave it white if you want. I'm going to choose this yellowy color again, and then go back to our ancestry brush and see if I can sort of add a little something in there. Let's turn that down a little bit. And you can also sort of add in, I love these like dusty little bits that you can add in, maybe in like the orange. And that's just gonna add like little specks. You know what I want to be? Maybe in yellow. You might not be able to see them much, but I know they're there. Okay. One other thing I might do. I'm going to add this like darker color on the outside. I'm gonna really hone down on the opacity here, but oh, this is fun. So I'll show you. So this is normal, and then if you select linear burn, it's gonna just bleed down into it. Sorry, this is just a good example for you. And same thing with overlay. It is going to overlay that on the same color. So, but I think I want to keep it orange. Well, let's see. Perfect. Okay. So you've got yourself a cute little vintage looking rock set. I think it's so fun. Please, if you try this, let me know, you know, tag me, send it to me, something. I feel like this is such a cool technique to use with illustrations and lettering. And I hope you have fun. Thank you.